Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a quick evening practice to release any tension that you've built up over the day. This is a great practice to do every evening before you get into bed. All you're going to need is a rolled up blanket, so once you've grabbed that, we'll get right into it. Okay, so before we get started, you can just place your blanket off to the side and come into a comfortable seated position. Today I'm going to start on my knees, but if this is really uncomfortable, you can come into crossed legs. Take the hands onto the thighs, close your eyes, draw the shoulders back in space. The shoulders stack over the hips, and just start to deepen your breath. Allow the breath to travel in and out through the nose. You're filling up into the belly, the ribs, the chest with every inhale. And then every exhale, sink into the hips. We'll do 3 more deep breaths just like that. Just releasing any muscle tension, letting go of your day so far, and trying to stay present. And once you feel a bit more settled, open your eyes and make your way into your tabletop position. So knees stacked just underneath the hips. The hands are going to come underneath the shoulders. And we're going to play around with stretching out the wrists. So just start to adjust the placement of the hands so the fingers can point back towards you, to the left and right, in front. You can even play with flipping the hands, putting a little pressure on the tops of the hands, getting into the backs of the wrists. This will just release any tension we've built up from being on a computer all day. So just kind of play with shifting the weight from side to side. And then once that feels complete, come back into your tabletop position where you're going to take a couple cat and cows. So inhale to drop the belly, draw the gaze and tailbone up towards the ceiling, stretching out through the throat. Now as you exhale, tuck the tailbone under, press the earth away from you, round through the spine, look towards the belly button. Good, 2 more rounds just like that. Inhale, shining the heart forward, gaze and tailbone lift. And then exhale to round. Taking 1 more at the pace of your own breath. Good, and then when you're ready, we'll meet in a neutral spine. Curl the toes under and lift the knees. Come into your downward facing dog, lifting the hips up and back. Going to pedal out the feet here, allow the chest to press towards the thighs, creating that nice long spine. The head hangs heavy in between the arms. And on your next inhale, you're going to start to walk the feet a little bit closer to the hands. You can bend the knees as much as you need to here. The heels might drop a bit closer to the earth. And then once you feel comfortable here, you're going to continue to press into the right palm and lift the left hand as you reach for the right ankle. Gaze is going to come underneath the right shoulder as you find a little bit of a twist here, opening up to the right side. Exhale as you release that hand back to meet the right. We'll switch to the other side. You can pedal out the feet a bit if you need to here. Lengthening through the legs, lifting the tailbone a little bit higher. Exhale, twist to the left, grabbing onto the left ankle with the right hand as you gaze underneath the left underarm. 2 full breaths. And on the next exhale, release. Bend the knees as much as you need to here and walk all the way up to the hands. Finding your forward fold, just allow the upper body to drape over the legs. The feet can be a little bit wider than hip width apart. Gonna grab onto opposite elbows and just let the head hang nice and heavy in between the arms. You can find stillness here or rock side to side. And exhale to release the hands, bend the knees so the belly presses up against the thighs, folding even deeper here. These forward folds are really good at the end of the day to release some anxiety. And tune inward. And just imagine any tension you're holding in the body or the mind to release out of the crown of the head into the earth. Just letting it go for one more full breath. Okay, then on the next inhale, you're slowly gonna roll all the way up to stand. And then once you get there, draw the shoulders up and back. Take the hands to your sides, palms face forward, feet are about hip width apart. Really rooting through all four corners of both feet. And the breath continues to fill up the belly. With every exhale, the belly button draws closer to the spine. And then soften the knees. On the next inhale, you're going to lift the hands up and overhead. Gaze lifts as well. Find a little back bend here. Start to reach towards the wall behind you. Engage the core. Open up through the shoulders. You can take the arms a little bit wider. And then as you exhale, as if you're painting the wall with the hands in front of you, you're going to hinge at the hips and fold all the way down. Okay, back into that forward fold. Bend the knees, soften. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway, really stretching through the hamstrings, creating a nice long spine. Exhale, fold it forward, let it go. Then pressing into both palms, you're gonna step the left foot back and then the right, coming into your high plank. Nice and strong here. There's one long line from the crown of the head to the heels. As you exhale, you're gonna lower the knees to the mat. Keep the elbows tucked in as you lower all the way down to the earth. And on the inhale here, point the toes, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. Inhale to lift the heart. Start to straighten out the arms. Good. The gaze lifts as well. Keep those elbows tucked into your sides and breathe here. And on the next exhale, soften back down to the earth. Curl the toes under, come through your tabletop, lift the hips up and into your downward dog. Take a moment here to reconnect with your breath. On the next inhale, lift the right foot nice and high, and as you exhale, you're going to bend that knee so the toes fall over to the left side. The left heel might come a little bit closer to the earth as you open through the right hip. That knee is the highest point on the body. On the next exhale, knee's gonna travel forward and land just behind the right wrist. Toes come behind the left wrist. Lower the shin to the mat and start to wiggle that left foot all the way down. And you're gonna sink into the hips here, but you want the hips to be level. So you're gonna have a tendency to sink into the right side. See if you can shift so the hips are square to the front of the room. If you need extra support, you can always take your blanket underneath the right glute. We're gonna stay lifted for a moment, 2 full breaths upright here. Then on the next exhale, start to walk the hands forward as you lower all the way down. And wherever you are, you want to be able to support the head so the neck isn't doing any work here. So you can take your blanket underneath the head, or you can rest the head on the hands or the ground underneath you. And this is a really deep hip opener here, so you want to really focus on bringing some ease into the body where you can. Directing the breath into that space where you feel discomfort. We'll be here for 5 more full breaths. And very slowly start to lift the head. You're going to make your way back onto your hands. Draw the shoulders back in space. And then curl the back toes under and step back into your downward dog. Pedal at the feet. Take a moment to reconnect with the breath and just notice how the right leg feels a bit different compared to the left. Take what you need in this shape before we move into the other side. Inhale to lift the left foot nice and high. Going to bend that knee so the toes fall to the right side of the room. Right heel lowers down. You're still pressing the chest towards the right thigh as you lift that knee a little bit higher. Exhale, knee travels forward and lands just behind the left wrist. Toes come towards the right wrist. Doesn't have to be a complete straight line. As you exhale, start to sink the hips and wiggle the right foot back in space. Sitting up nice and tall for a moment. Take a moment to center the hips. You can always take extra support under the left glute. And this side might feel completely different compared to the right. Then moving nice and slow, start to walk the hands forward as you lower all the way down, using something to support the head so the neck is not doing any work. Soften through the shoulders, unclench the jaw. And instead of allowing the mind to wander here, see if you can actually zoom into that space where you're feeling uncomfortable. Try to allow the breath to start to open up the body a little bit more, sinking a bit closer to the earth underneath you. And gently start to make your way to your hands. In whatever way you need, make your way back into your downward dog, lifting the hips up and back. And then lifting the heels nice and high, bend the knees, press the chest towards the thighs. Deep exhale, let it go. And take both knees nice and wide. You're going to sit your hips down towards the heels and you're going to grab onto your blanket. You're going to take the blanket just in between the thighs and walk your hands into your child's pose. So the arms extend in front. We're taking quite a passive child's pose here. So soften the elbows towards the earth. You can rest one ear on your blanket. Notice the belly press up against the thighs as you breathe. Allow the chest to become heavy on your blanket. Good. On your next breath, you're going to switch sides, taking the opposite ear to your blanket. See if you can become a little bit heavier in the hips. And nice and slow, take the gaze through center and start to walk the hands back towards you. You're gonna place your blanket off to the side and come to lie on your back. So tuck the shoulder blades towards one another, allow the arms to just fall to your sides. And on the next inhale, you're going to draw the right knee in towards you, wrapping the hands around that shin. With every exhale, tuck that knee a little bit closer in towards the chest or the underarm, wherever it lands. On the next exhale, you're going to draw that knee over to the left side. As the right arm extends, gaze comes over the right shoulder. You might want to use your blanket for extra support under the right knee. Become heavy in both shoulders. Try to soften through the hips. Notice if you're clenching your jaw. And start to engage the core as you lift that knee back up through center. Extending that leg, we'll move into the other side. Left knee draws in. Exhale to squeeze the knee a little bit closer towards you. Then you're going to guide that knee over to the right side. You can take your blanket underneath that knee for extra support. The left arm extends. Gaze comes towards the left fingertips. You can rest the right hand on the thigh. I want to be feeling a little stretch here, but nothing too intense. And slowly draw the belly in as you lift that knee back up. Then extend both legs nice and long. You can move your blanket to the side. I'm going to set up for our final resting pose. So the arms fall heavy to your sides, shoulders drop away from the ears. The feet come nice and wide. Don't be afraid to take up space here. You're going to soften the gaze or close the eyes. Allow the toes to just fall to either side. Notice the natural curl in the fingers and soften through the belly. And do a light scan of your body from the soles of your feet all the way up to the crown of your head. Releasing each and every muscle with every exhale as you go. Really visualizing all the muscles softening around bones and trying your best here to completely let go of anything that you're still holding on to physically or emotionally. Mind starts to wander, continue to draw it back to the breath and how it feels traveling through the body. Very slowly start to bring movement back into the fingers and the toes. And very gently rock the head from side to side. And taking your time, you're going to bend both knees and roll over onto one side using your arm as a pillow. And gently press yourself up and into a comfortable seated position. Take your hands to your heart and bow your head. We'll take one final breath all together. Deep inhale, fill up. And exhale to let it go. Namaste. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you are interested in joining me for my live classes, I offer 3 classes a week. You can check that out at my website, violetannyoga.com. I will link it in the description below, and I'll see you soon.